single Sons of the Soil party of Mumbai and Maharashtra, which finds itself facing an unprecedented crisis at the moment. Which is why we thought it would be only appropriate that someone who has, in a way, become the face of the next generation of the Shivsena, Aaditya Thackeray, welcome to the India Today Mumbai Conclave. Good to have you.
Thank you, and welcome to the India Today group to Maharashtra and Mumbai. Swagat hai tumcha.
Thank you. Namaskar. आपण इथे आला याबद्दल आमचा आभार.
मला वाटतं आपण मराठीतच बोलत राहू म्हणजे आमचे राहुलजी वगैरे मला प्रश्नच विचारू नाही शकणार.
You know, Mumbai is more than just being Maharashtrian. It is a complete melting pot of every community. That's what makes Mumbai great. You can speak Marathi, Hindi, English, and you can celebrate being a Mumbaikar.
Absolutely. But at the same time, if you're caught at the traffic signal, you have to speak Marathi.
I couldn't agree with you more.
And if you're on the cricket field, you have to say Aiga.
That's right. I won't say the other things that you also say on a cricket field in Marathi, because that will really get this audience going. But Aaditya Thackeray, I introduced you actually as a Shivsena leader. Some would say correct yourself. We just had the Maharashtra Chief Minister Eknath Shinde.
Oh, is he the Chief Minister?
1 minute. He heads a party called Balasaibanchi Shivsena, or the Shivsena of Balasaheb Thackeray. And you at the moment, as per the Election Commission, are the leader of the Shivsena Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray. Which brings me to my first question. What happens to the Shivsena? If the Shivsena has now split apart into two groups, even the symbol is no longer, the bow and arrow traditional symbol is no longer, as of now at least, with either of these two factions. Do you concede that you are facing a crisis of a kind that was unimaginable for a party that your grandfather started about 56 years ago?
So, two corrections to that, and very humbly. First is, it's not a recognized party as yet. What he has got, he was trying to take away our name. He was trying to take away the logo for the Andheri elections that they did not even intend to contest. The only intention was to damage the Shivsena, damage Maharashtra, and put the sustainable development and politics of Maharashtra on the back burner. What they have got is Balasaibanchi Shivsena. Now, there are multiple Balasahebs across the country, so it could be anyone's Shivsena that they are talking about. What we have got is Shivsena Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray. These words are inseparable, and the Election Commission also has proved it so that these words are inseparable. What also is very important is Shivsena and Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray during COVID times and the 2.5 years of our governance in Maharashtra has shown to the world that we can be transparent, accountable, listening to different voices from different sectors and areas of society and work for the people. So this is what we were going ahead with. In terms of what is the future of Shivsena and the question of whether Shivsena is in crisis, for me that is not a question anymore, because we are fighting it out. It could not be worse than what we have come to. They've run away with 40 Gaddars from our party and 12 Gaddar MPs, and they will face elections and the people will decide. For me, what is important today and what is crucial today is what happens to the ideals of our constitution. What happens to democracy? What happens to rule of law? What happens to justice? If today, across our country, we have smaller Gaddaris, and I call this Gaddari because there's no other appropriate word for this, people who've run away and just gone to another party. If this happens across the country and this gets legitimized, you will have unrest, political unrest in every state of India. You will have random people claiming names and logos and parties for not just parties like Shivsena and other regional parties, but also the national parties like the BJP and the Congress. What happens to the future of democracy in our country? What happens to the constitution is the larger question here.
Now I'll come to the larger question, but I want to for now at least address the question of the Shivsena. Because you use the word Gaddar or traitors. These are not 5, 6 traitors, these are 40. Out of 55 members of a legislature party, if 40 leave, that is almost 3/4, Aditya. Therefore, it would claim, as Eknath Shinde claimed on this very platform a few hours ago, that they are the real Shivsena, that he represents the real Shivsena of Balasaheb Thackeray, the real Hindutva of Balasaheb Thackeray.
So have you read Arabian Nights? 40 is a very important figure in that.
Explain.
I think everyone knows about it. I don't want to go into
No,
that.
no, no. You are saying that they are Ali Baba or Chalis Chor.
ये मैंने नहीं कहा, वो हंस रहे हैं, मैंने कुछ नहीं कहा।
नहीं, देखिए.
But to steal a mandate away, to steal an elected government, look, we have no things like a pre-poll alliance or a post-poll alliance. What is important here is a pre-poll alliance happened with the BJP on the basis of 2.5 years, 2.5 years. If that had been adhered to and as agreed, today the arrangement of government would have been 2.5 years ago, and by now Devendraji would have been the CM. Unfortunately, that did not come into being. We were fighting for our own principles, for what is promised. We believe in coexistence. We believe in promises. We are a party that believes that Raghukul Reet Sada Chali Aaye, Pran Jaye Par Vachan Na Jaye. And that is how we wanted to go ahead. We came together with the Congress and the NCP and other allies who believe in democracy, who believe in the constitution, and we were working for a better Maharashtra. However, what they have done is for the monstrous ambition of one man, they've taken Maharashtra behind, and that is a sin that nobody will forgive.
You know, you are saying that there was this, let's settle this today, that there was this 2.5 years arrangement in Maharashtra in 2019 for the Shivsena and BJP to share power. I recall in this very room, in 2019, few weeks before that famous election of Maharashtra, you were sitting in the audience, Devendra Fadnavis was here. He didn't sound to me, Aaditya Thackeray, like someone who was going to share 2.5 years with you.
Which is why whatever happened.
No, so let's be clear. Today when Eknath Shinde was asked the question, he said that question, only Amit Shah ji and Uddhav Thackeray were in one room when this was decided. No one else knows this. So they could easily turn around, Eknath Shinde could easily turn around and say, look, at the end of the day, the Shivsena, i.e. the Uddhav Thackeray Shivsena, did not even keep that basic promise of 2.5 years to the BJP, did not keep the basic promise to the principles of Hindutva. Hence this breakup took place, and that's why I had to leave. He said, I am not a rebel. I represent the original Shivsena.
What are the principles of Hindutva according to him? They have no answer on that. What are the issues that they had with the MVA government? They have no answers to that. For 2.5 years, they enjoyed that everything they could. For 2.5 years, they were quite silent. Only when there were things against him, there were things that were going against him where he thought that he might be in problems, he has decided to run away from that. And therefore, I do not give much importance to whatever's being said from the opposition, because if you take a poll even today on the trustworthiness of Mr. Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray vis-a-vis any other politician in Maharashtra, I think you will get your answer to that.
So the answer that the people of Maharashtra are looking for when it comes to the Shivsena, I want, as I said, to settle this. Who is the real Shivsena? Is it the party where 40 out of 55 have left? Or is it a party, as your opponents accuse, a party of the Thackeray Parivar? They say they are the party of the Sainiks, i.e. Eknath Shinde and others, and that your party or the Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray family has become the party of Uddhav, Aditya and the Thackeray Parivar.
So there is absolutely no difference between the Thackeray Parivar and the Shivsena Parivar, and that is one. So it is one family, one party. But for this again, if they want elections, I am challenging them every single day. Let the 40 of them come into the electoral ring. I will resign as an MLA and come into the electoral ring. Let's fight. Let's see who wins. Let the people decide once and for all. Whatever the people decide, I'll be happy for it.
You are calling for all the MLAs who
all
switch
40
sides,
of them, yes.
all 40 of them to resign and recontest the elections. You and the other 14 Shivsena MLAs will also resign, and we will have 55 elections in Maharashtra, is what you're calling for.
I won't ask
55 by-elections, or are you calling for a fresh election?
I'm calling for 41 elections. I'm not pulling in the other 15 who stayed with us into an electoral ring. I am saying 40 of you resign, I will resign, let's contest, let's see who wins.
That's all very well.
And that is what a democracy is, right? I mean, you have seen many defections in your life. You've covered politics for a long, long time. Tell me in which state or in what year of Indian history or in Indian politics have you seen a defection that is so shameless that they did not have the courage to resign and face elections at their own home ground?
Aaditya Thackeray, I must say, I have seen defections. It's routine now.
It
You know,
does, but they resign, they contest elections and they become MPs or MLAs and go to the other party. This is running away from your responsibility. This is not even having the courage to fight in your own home turf.
law allows you to split a party with two-thirds. More than two-thirds of your legislature party split. Therefore, they have gone to the election commission, even asked for the bow and arrow symbol.
Two-thirds is about the entire party, not the electoral party. And this is what I'm saying. If two-thirds of any party in a legislative party starts breaking away, and you legitimize this, you will have a lot of this breaking away in a lot of states for a lot of parties. This is going to be a dangerous trend for the political stability of India.
Who do you blame for this? Eknath Shinde or the BJP? Do you blame? Because one slogan of yours, which has become very popular in Maharashtra, which has gone viral, is Pannas Khoke Ekdam Okay. Basically suggesting that 50 crores is completely okay. You have made a direct insinuation in every speech that basically the Shivsena MLAs who switched were paid 50 crores. Do you have evidence of that when you make that allegation? Do you have any evidence to suggest that they were paid 50 crores?
One of the MLAs also speaking about that. Just yesterday, I think Mr. Bachchu Kadu has spoken about that, or Mr. Rana has spoken about that. But about the blame, I think it is we who are to be blamed. I take that blame myself, and of course, both of us, my father and I, because we trusted them blindly. We thought them to be our people. We thought that they will stick around even after giving them a post like UD, which no other chief minister in the past 40, 50 years has parted from that department. We thought that we could trust them blindly and they would not stab us in the back. We were the ones who did not trouble the opposition parties with Tadipari notices or policemen keeping a watch on them. We were the ones who actually did not spy on our own people, and that's our fault. We thought politics is not an extremely dirty place, or you don't have to run in the muck or get dirty in the muck every time when you have to serve the people. So that is our fault.
You're not blaming the BJP.
I take the blame for it, for not playing dirty politics like them.
They will blame in a way your father, who became chief minister, and the charge against Uddhavji was that he didn't spend enough time with the MLAs in Mantralaya, went only twice in a tenure of or 2.5 years. What do you expect the MLAs to do? Eknath Shinde was available to them 24/7. Your father was not available to them in a manner that they would have liked, and they feared that if they went into an election, they would lose. The NCP was growing at the expense of the Shivsena.
There are two factors to this. One, it is true my father could not meet them from December to almost January, and that was because he underwent 2 surgeries. The second one was an urgent emergency surgery. When I had returned from COP26, and I was of course moving around, meeting people, traveling around, while going to meet him, I had to do 3 COVID tests and 3 RAT tests before I met him. Because of course he was in a bubble, but every single week he was holding the cabinet as the cabinet should be held, over a video conference probably. He was in touch with all the MLAs, all the MPs. You'll find, if you just take out the CCTV footage of Varsha, you'll find a lot of them streaming and walking out after doing their work. So that is one. The other is about me not meeting or my father not meeting. If you take the 2.5 years of all our Twitter accounts or their Twitter accounts, you'll see photos of us with them, of course with a mask on. But our mask was a COVID mask, their mask was of treachery. So that is a different mask altogether. The other one, of course, is basically moving ahead. If you look at that time, that was a difficult period for us, the 3 months. And of course, for him, as a chief minister, he had to look at the rising COVID numbers to keep everyone intact, of course, working together. But going ahead, if you look at what he said about not being able to win with Congress and NCP, I challenge them today. The 40 of them, when they go into an election with the BJP, how many of them will get tickets again?
Okay, let me sort out 2 issues. I mentioned Pannas Khoke Ekdam Okay.
That is what the people are saying.
No. That's not. That's what Aaditya Thackeray goes to every rally, where you're attracting large numbers when you say that, and a lot of applause. Versus your opponent saying that this MVS government, which was there till July, was a Vasuli ki Sarkar, an extortion government. As a Mumbaikar, as a Maharashtrian, as an Indian, I look at the 2 sides making these allegations. One says a government of extortion, out of which 2 of your ministers are in jail. One of your leaders at the moment is in jail, Sanjay Raut. And you on the other hand saying this is a government which has paid its way into power. What is the message? Sab neta chor hai, sab Shiv Sena paise mein hai, one extortionist versus on the other side these 50 crores business? I mean, has politics become a business in Maharashtra?
चलो चुनाव लेते हैं, लोगों को तय करने दो. The answer is simple. In a democracy, today you don't have a constitutional government. The ones who are putting a blame on us were the BJP, who is in alliance with 40 out of the 55 of us, which means the majority of whom they were blaming for different things, and a couple of them are ministers today, who are blamed for really dirty things. They have been made ministers today. And they have the backing of the BJP. If I were in the place of the DCM, I would have walked out of this government and called for fresh elections.
You are saying on this program, if you were Devendra Fadnavis, you would walk out of this government and call for fresh elections.
Absolutely.
Why?
I've said this before.
Because you are saying that Mr. Fadnavis accused many of the people who are today ministers in his government of corruption when they were in the MVA.
No, the answer is simple. If you look at what has happened over the past 3 or 4 months, today there is absolute lawlessness in Maharashtra. You can see one Gaddar MLA going into a police station and firing 2 bullets at the police. There's an Arms Act case registered against him, but there's no action against that. Just today I've read about one Gaddar MLA trying to enter Mantralaya, and because he was asked for a security check by the cops, he abused them and said, "Don't you know who I am?" and then he went on with his expletives. You've got this situation almost everywhere. The other thing is, on one hand, the agriculture sector is failing absolutely. We're shouting Ola Dushkal Jahir Kara, which means you give them the incentives of what is called an Ola Dushkal in Marathi, but basically there's been heavy rainfalls, not once, but twice or thrice across Maharashtra. They deserve compensation that has not been given. The second factor is, for any state, there are 2 sectors which are important, agriculture and industry. Both are failing. No one has trust in Maharashtra's political stability. If you look at Devendraji's time, or if you look at Uddhavji's time, there was a certain sense of political stability. Today, I wonder how a leader as sharp as him is being a part of this government, and he's being defamed for that, and I don't like that. In all genuinity.
I read an interesting observation by Mr. Fadnavis saying that the time has come to end political bitterness. Is that an olive branch to the Shivsena? Can we see possibly, and this question was asked by my colleague Sahil Joshi to Eknath Shinde as well, a possibility of a grand reunion at some stage before 2024? For all this talk here at the moment,
all I'm saying
is there any backroom negotiation going on that we don't know and we should know about?
Is this a question for Mr. Shinde or for me?
For all 3 of you, Mr.
I think
Shinde.
It's for him to not sleep over. For us, it is very clear that we believe in the constitution, we believe in democracy. And if we want to go ahead as a democratic state, as a state that has always been on the forefront of democratic principles, on the ideals of the constitution, on being transparent and accountable, and for political stability, it's due that we call for elections.
No, these are all nice words. The fact is, your father...
But do you not believe in nice words of the constitution?
No, those are fine words. But when I see the kind of politics that's played out, there's a huge gap between what the constitution envisaged and what is the reality. I will ask you very...
Who is responsible for that?
Your father, Uddhav Thackeray, met Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2021, June, July in Delhi. Apparently an effort was made to have a tie-up between the Shivsena and the BJP. It didn't work out. I therefore ask you, is there any possibility of Uddhav Thackeray reaching out to Narendra Modi ji again? They haven't attacked each other at any stage, and forming a grand Hindutva coalition once again.
So Rajiv ji, of course, when the both of them met, one was the Prime Minister and is still the Prime Minister, the other person was a Chief Minister. It is very common for a Chief Minister to be meeting and calling on a Prime Minister, seeking help for the state. He took along with him Mr. Ashok Chavan and Mr. Ajit Pawar, both of them who had accompanied my father. But what is very, very important is it always very important to give political colors to a meeting, a regular meeting between a Prime Minister and a Chief Minister, only because a Gaddar about not attacking each other? The Prime Minister and we have had mutual respect and good relationship for a long number of years, way before he became the Prime Minister. And we'll always have that. The fight is not with him. The fight is with the 40 MLAs who have backstabbed us. The fight is with these people who've gone against the principles of the constitution and democracy and made a government here. And we have never said a word against the Prime Minister before or after. Even today, when these projects are going from Maharashtra, I am blaming the instability of the state, not the government of India. Because when we were a part of the MVA, and we had the same government of India in place there, and it is called a double engine ki sarkar, both our engines were running fine. The engine changed to this Gaddar sarkar. That's the time this engine has changed. The blame they are putting is on the center, not us. I am saying these people are not capable of bringing projects to Maharashtra because when we were in government here, we got 6 to Maharashtra at Davos as well, with the same government of India delegation being present there. I think Rahulji, you were present there. We brought 80,000 crores. So we never had a problem with the government of India. It is this incumbent unconstitutional government that is having a problem with the government of India.
You insist that all these projects that have gone, or the two main ones that have gone, the Foxconn Vedanta project and the Airbus startup project that have gone from Maharashtra to Gujarat in the last few months, have only gone because the government changed in Maharashtra. Is that what you're saying? Let's be very clear.
Very clear, I'll be on this. Not just the government changed, but this is an unconstitutional government where we're seeking justice in the Supreme Court, seeking justice for democratic principles and the ideals of the Constitution. If at all there is justice, and if at all there's swift justice, you will see this government collapse. Going by that, would you, as an investor, set up your office and your factory here?
No, it's interesting you're saying that here today, because the impression I got is that you believe these projects have gone to Gujarat because there's an election coming up in Gujarat in a few months and the Prime Minister has mandated industrialists to move these projects from Maharashtra to Gujarat. No clarity.
Please don't say this. You'll be called an HMV Patrakar. Don't say this, please.
No, 1 minute.
You'll be trolled a lot more.
No, I am trolled enough to last a lifetime. I will ask you again. Are you saying that these projects have moved from Maharashtra to Gujarat because the Prime Minister willed it to do so? Or are you saying it has been done because of political instability at the moment in Maharashtra, and Maharashtra therefore doesn't attract the kind of investments that it should?
I have worked in the government of Maharashtra for the last 2.5 years very closely. I've worked with Mr. Desai, I've worked with Mr. Uddhav Thackeray as a chief minister, I've been a minister of that government, I've seen everyone's working. If you remember from June 2020, which was peak COVID time, the first lockdown, to about the June of 2022, we've brought in 6.5 lakh crores of investment all through COVID time, and with the principal opposition party also being a government in the center of a full majority. However, all the investors, be it foreign direct investment or local investment, be it people of different political colors, backgrounds, everything, they have chosen to invest in Maharashtra because they knew that the government here was a government that believed in democracy and the ideals of the Constitution. We were a firm government, we were firmly put together. Today, a project something like Vedanta Foxconn, which we have been chasing since January 2022, right up to a point where the incumbent unconstitutional chief minister declares in the assembly that they're bringing in 4 lakh crores of investment. By the way, the figure was wrong, it's 1.4 lakh crores. He mentioned the wrong figure. Once you say that in the House, you are bound to the House. You've given a word to the House. How can he come to the House and say that if we were responsible of sending it away in September 2021 when the project was not even conceived? So someone is lying. And today you had a great opportunity to pitch us face to face because I've challenged him. Let's have a face-to-face debate on this.
You would have preferred a Mumbai conclave where you and Eknath Shinde were face to face.
Maharashtra conclave.
A Maharashtra conclave. But why can't Uddhav Thackeray do it? Eknath Shinde says, I'm ready to debate. I'll debate with Uddhav Thackeray. Why will I debate with the son?
But I was working on it. Chalo, mere se to baat karo. Wherever you choose, whenever you choose, you can read it out. I don't mind. Mujhse to baat karo, yaar.
Aaditya Thackeray, looking ahead, is it now make or break time? The Mumbai Municipal Corporation elections are coming up. This is seen the Sone ki chidiya. Whoever controls Mumbai controls in a way the resources of Maharashtra. Is this make or break time?
I think Rajdeep ji, exactly the phrase that you use is a problematic phase for us as Mumbaikars. Sone ki chidiya is for the people who have never been Mumbaikars. Sone ki chidiya for the parties who are not originating from Mumbai. For us, this is our Janma Bhumi, this is our Karma Bhumi, this is going to be our Bhumi forever. For the last 25 years, we have taken the BMC from deficit to a surplus of 80,000 crores. Every penny for that is accounted for. Every committee has all parties sitting in it with absolute transparency. And you've seen Mumbai grow in the past 2.5 years with basic things like tactical urbanism, safe schools, things like, every minor intervention that we had. Today, what the people or what other parties are looking at BMC for is not what we are looking at the BMC for. We look at it very selfishly. This is our city and this is what we want to take ahead, not something that we want to loot. But having said that, this make or break election thing that you've said, since 2002, since I was 12 years old, I've always read in the newspapers from various journalists that every election and especially every BMC election has been tagged as a litmus test for the Shivsena. Now the litmus papers also won away. But it is always a litmus test. See, elections come and go, you win, you lose, you win again. The point is, why is the government not calling for elections? If they're so popular, if they have so much goodwill in the people, let them call for elections. We're ready for it. We may lose, we may win. That's in the hands of the people.
Aditya Thackeray, you objected to my using the word Sone ki Chidiya. When I look at the assets of all your Shivsena corporators and how they have gone up by 10 times, 20 times, I sometimes wonder, where does all this money come from?
Which ones? Which ones?
Look, the fact is, you may not like it, but a dozen of your MLAs have ED cases against them.
Where have
the
they gone?
fact is, one of
Where
your
have they
main,
gone?
one of
Where
your
have they
main
gone,
leaders,
Rajdeep ji? Where have they gone now?
Huh?
Where have they gone?
They've gone to the other side.
And what has happened of the cases? Which is why we had to send them away and bring in a fresh lot.
So are you going to freshen up the Shivsena? Is this a moment for Aaditya Thackeray? One of the good things about you is the manner in which you raised issues that perhaps no other Shiv Sainik had raised for years. Climate change, environment, conservation. You see yourself, Aaditya Thackeray, being able to carve out a new Shiv Sena from the Shiv Sena of your grandfather or even your father? Is there a Shiv Sena vision that you have?
To be very honest, if you look at the politics and the career of my grandfather, and of course my father, every decade has had a different priority because they knew what is important for the people. Be it Sons of the Soil, be it Hindutva, be it development. If you remember in 2002, my father had raised the issue of Me Mumbaikar. It is so relevant today. You go around Mumbai and you see these ugly political hoardings everywhere, including us. And I'm willing to take one step forward saying we won't put political hoardings. Let's all stop putting political hoardings because it's come to a point where it's, feeling so awkward to roam around a city where you can't see traffic signals. You only see faces of us, which all of us are interested in, but the common man is probably not interested in. And I think this is what is very important for us. When I speak about tactical urbanism, when I speak about urbanization, when I speak about climate change, it's not something which is happening, say...
इंतजार ये हो रहा है कि मैंने तू आयो छे सारे बोली एकदम से निकली गई लाइव में जो अकेले इन प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस मैंने तू ऑफिस से है तो थोड़ी बार वेट करी ले हाँ खल्ला दिवाली घर तो हुआ है यार